ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Om. In this session, we will first take up the last Agni Suktam from Sage Bharadwaja. Chandas Vardhamana Gayatri, Gayatri, Anushtup and Trushtup. Agni is the subject matter of this sukta. Most of the rigs deal with qualities attributed to Agni, who could be a physical entity or personified energy or subtle divinity or spiritual light. Many of them have been explained earlier. Additional explanations follow. The Suktam can be considered as a summary of the previous 15 Suktas. 16.1 Tvam Yajnanam Hota. O Agni, you are the performer of sacrifices and are benevolent to all. So may you be an inspirer of all thoughtful persons along with enlightened souls. May Agni inspire thoughtful men through enlightened souls. Here Agni implies the spiritual one. In any case, personified energy Agni activates all beings. Sano Mandrabhir 16.2 He unites us in this knowledge sacrifice with words of speech which cause delight. May he bring here the great enlightened souls and unite us with noble virtues. Comment on the previous rik is applicable to this rik also. 16.3 Veta hi vedho adhvana. O very wise performer of good deeds, resplendent Agni, you know well and quickly the means and paths in non-violent sacrifices. Spiritual Agni is a good performer of knowledge sacrifices, or energy is a subject matter which is worthwhile for discussion in seminars and conferences. Tvamile adha dvita bharato 16.4 O Agni Atma, as I admire you, who is fit to be honored in all kinds of sacrifices, you become the upholder of twofold prosperity with food and knowledge. Twofold prosperity implies physical and spiritual prosperity. 16.5 Tvamima Varya Puru. O Agni, you please give these many acceptable articles to a person who is an extractor of offerer of Soma, and to a person who is upholder of all kinds of knowledge. One enjoys the fruits of one's own actions, which are all driven by Agni. Soma extracted could be gross, subtle or spiritual. Tvam duto amartya avaha 16.6 O immortal messenger of the self Agni, hearing that admirable praises of an intelligent scholar, please bring enlightened souls or shining beings here. Intelligent scholar implies here the seer of the Sukta. 16.7 Tvamagne swathyo. O Agni, men of meditative nature invoke you, who is resplendent in sacrifice for the attainment of good virtues. Tava prayakshi samdirishamuta 16.8 O Agni, all those good donors who desire to see you well and to acquire your good intellect praise you. Tvam hoda manurhito. O spiritual Agni, 16.9. O spiritual Agni, you are a liberal sacrificer, benevolent to men, and a great scholar. By giving good teachings by your mouth, you protect all your subjects in this universe. Obviously, spiritual Agni is being referred to here. 16.10. Agna ayahi vitaye. O Agni, please come for distribution of wealth to your subjects. Being glorified by us, you, who is a good sacrificer, please be seated in your august seat in the assembly for giving what is worth giving. Making use of external and internal sources of energy, men acquire objects that are desired by them. So Agni is said to be giver of worthwhile articles. What is really worthwhile is self-knowledge. Tam tva samedira angiro ghrutena. 16.1. O Agni, you are like burning charcoal and you are very young. We augment you, fire, Agni fire, with good fuel and ghee. Please shine greatly. Gross and spiritual Agnis respectively are talked about in this Ruk. Samna Pruthu Shravaya 16.12. O resplendent Agni, you serve us well by giving great knowledge which is worth hearing and which is a great source of power. Subtle and spiritual Agnis respectively are talked about in this Ruk also. 16.13. Tvam Agne Pushkarad. O Agni, like a non-violent person kindles a fire, in the same way, wise men generating energy from the space which is like the forehead of the universe. Wise scientists make use of solar energy for the benefit of men. 16.14. Tamutva Dadhyangrishi. O Agni, son of a non-violent person, who approaches many upholders of knowledge, and who is by himself a sage, kindles you only, who is like the sun and destroyer of cities and of darkness of the cloud. By implication, this Ruk talks about generation of spiritual light of Agni, which is the destroyer of ignorance associated with the self. 16.15. Tamutva Pathyo Vrisha. O Agni, a knower of right path, who is a showerer of oblations, kindles you only, who is the best among destroyers of the wicked and among conquerors of wealth in every battle. Comment on the previous Ruk is applicable to this Ruk also. 16.6. Ehyushu Bravani Tegna. O Agni, please come and hear these well-spoken words of praise and also other words meant for you. May your power increase by them and by moon's rays or drops of Atmiya Soma essence. This Ruk is addressed to subtle Agni, hearer of invokers' praises. Gross Agni's power increases by moon's rays. Subtle and spiritual Agni's power increases by drops of Atmiya Soma essence. Yatra kva chate manodaksham. O Agni, whenever your mind upholds exalted power, keep or engage it there. Please tell where it is. Agni's mind upholds the exalted power of the self. It is held in the abode of the self, or Agni's mind is one with the self. 6.16.18 Nahi te purtamakshivat. O giver of shelter to ordinary mortals, may your perfect form be never become invisible to us. Please accept our services. May we see Agni's form always. Agni could be physical, subtle or spiritual. Agni's sight is a giver of happiness to grasp subtle and causal bodies. Agni Agami Bharato Rutraha 16.19 Upholder and giver of knowledge, truth, destroyer of cloud of ignorance, inspirer of many and protector of truth. Agni Atma comes here. Agni here implies the spiritual one who is the protector of truth, etc. 16.20 Sahi Vishwadivarthivarayim. When used properly, Agni fire without wind, who is unassailed, bestows all earthly or material riches by his greatness. Physical Agni or energy may be meant in this rig. Sa Pratnavan Aviyasyagne Naviyasyagne Sa Pratnavan Aviyasyagne 16.21 O Agni, like the sun overspreading the vast space with his rays as of old, you please spread over us now new and well-controlled wealth with good reputation. May Agni within our bodies and outside the bodies help us to earn wealth and reputation. This is the essence of the rig. Pravah Sakhayo Agnaye Stomam 16.22 O friends, using hymns of praise for Agni, who is extraordinarily wise and is virtuous or brave, so that he accomplishes your sacrifice. No explanation on this. 16.23 Sahiyo Manusha Yuga, who is a sacrificer, is a great scholar, bearer of sacrificial oblations and messenger of self. He alone is established in every age by human beings. 16.24 Sa Rajana Shuchivrata, O provider of dwellings for all, please unite those shining beings here who are virtuous, such as sons of Aditi, host of Marus, the space, the earth, etc. In fact, Agni is the energy or the one factor which unites all living beings, gross as well as subtle, physical or mentally imagined. Vasvide Agni 16.25 O offspring of a mighty father Agni, good looks of the immortal you belong to earth and other shining objects. It gives to a man good food or knowledge as desired by him. Agni is present in self-luminous bodies, in the space and on the earth. Agni bestows physical and spiritual wealth on man. Kratvala astu shreshto. 16.26. O Agni, may a man who serves you with oblations or by his intellect and actions be the most excellent possessor of wealth and become well praised. Both physical and spiritual forms of sacrifice are being talked about in this rig. Each type gives the corresponding fruits, physical wealth or self-knowledge. 16.27. Te te Agni toda ishyando. O Agni, may all those who are protected by you, desiring food all their lives, become strong, overcoming their miserly adversaries and becoming their master by destroying their foes. The Rig may be talking about Jఠragni. Man need food to keep Jఠragni going all through their lives. It gives physical and mental strength for human beings. 16.28. Agnistigmena Shodisha. Agni by his sharp blaze burns all sinful enemies. Agni bestows all kinds of wealth upon us. This is self-explanatory. So also the next verse, 16.29. Suviram Reimabhara Jatavedo Vicharshane. O knower of all born beings, full of splendor and doer of noble deeds, Agni, please bring us wealth from all sides with heroes and slay the wicked persons. Atvam ma pahyam haso Jatavedo. O knower of all born beings and preacher of Vedas, Agni, please protect us from an unrighteous act and from a person who desires to do a sinful act. This is a prayer addressed to spiritual Agni. Sinful act stands for wickedness. Again, 16.31. Yono Agni dureva amarto. O Agni, a mortal of wicked contact, gives or accuses us for killing us. Please protect us from that sinner. No comment. 16.32. Tvam tam deva jihvaya pari. O resplendent Agni, please punish severely with your tongue like flame that evildoer who desires to kill us. No comment on this also. 16.33. Bharadvajaya sapratha sharmayacha. O endeavorer of all, famous Agni, please grant desirable wealth and a good shelter to an upholder of food and knowledge. Here shelter may mean abode of the self. 16.34. Agnir Vrutrani Jighnat Agnir Vrutrani Jankhanat. 16.34. Agni, well kindled by a man desirous of acquiring wealth with great labor and invoked by him, shines brightly. He destroys clouds of ignorance, physical and spiritual. The earth becomes more meaningful if Agni is taken to be the spiritual one. 6.36.35 Garbhe Madhu Pidushpita. Agni, protector of the world, shining inside the undecaying womb of the mother, is seated in the source of Ruta, the father Purusha, or the indwelling self. Agni appears as gross energy in the universe, Mother Nature on the earth, but spiritual Agni rests as the face of the unmanifested Purusha. Mukhadindrascha Agnischa. Purusha Sukta 10.90. Brahma Prajavada Bhara Yadavedo Vicharshane. O knower of all born beings, full of splendor Agni, please bring us good wealth, food or Vedic hymns, which shines in the space, accompanied with good progeny. Meaning of this slok is also, and also of the next one, should be easy enough for comprehension. Next slok is 16.37. Upatva Ranva Samdrisham. O doer of deeds with energy, Agni, being industrious, may we pour forth such true and sweet words for you, who is lovely to look at. 16.38. Upachayamiva Grunera Aganma Sharma. O Agni, we come to your home for shelter. You, who is glittering like gold and is shining like the rays of the sun, which is like the shade of a tree. Agni's home is the self, which is the shelter of all born beings. That shelter bestows happiness like the shade of a tree from sun's rays or on a hot summer day. That 16.39. Ya Ugraiva Sharyaha. O Agni, you are fierce like the slayer of foes who are to be killed. Possessing sharp rays which are like horns of a bull, you demolish the citadels of foes. This may not need any clarification. Now we take up 16.40. Ayam haste na khadinam shishum. We will take 16.41 also. Pradevam devavidaye. O sacrificers, whom you bear or hold in your hands like a newborn child or like some eatable, you establish that Agni, who is resplendent and is conveyor of abundant wealth for the attainment of shining virtues. May he be seated in his own home, abode of the self. These two ruks may not need any clarification either. 16.42. Ajatam jatavedasi priyam. O sacrificers, honor that Agni who is born in the agreeable assembly of knowers of all born beings. He is dear like a venerable guest. Born Agni implies manifested energy, natural or man-made fire, for example. Honoring means making use of. Agni provides energy to all knowers of all born beings, Indra, Pranas, etc. Agne yukshva hi ye 16.43. O resplendent Agni, accomplishers of great tasks, harness the speed and power associated with you, which are sufficient for a man of high spirit. A man of high spirit makes use of speed and power associated with different sources of energy for the benefit of man. Acha no yahya Vahabhi 16.44. O Atmiya Agni, please come towards us quickly. For enjoying the most desirable articles and for drinking Soma essence, please bring shining beings here. Subtle or spiritual Agni is being addressed in this ruk. Soma essence could be gross subtle or Agniya Soma. 16.45. Udagne Bharata Dimat. O upholder of noble virtues and decaying Agni, may you shine forth. You illuminate constantly and gleam with light of knowledge. Spiritual Agni is implied here. He shines with light of knowledge. Vidi Vidiyo Devam Marto 16.46. A mortal who is a liberal donor, who with the desire of attaining peace and bliss worships this resplendent Agni, who is acceptor of oblations, is pervader of the space and earth, and who unites people with truth in a knowledge sacrifice. He serves to shine Agni with folded hands and with reverence. Both types of Agni are talked about in this ruk also. Pervader of the space and earth is the grass or physical Agni. Spiritual Agni leads one to truth. 16.47. Ade Agnarita Avirkrida. O Agni, we offer you ruks of Vedas generated with our hearts as oblations. May they, which are showerers of peace and very good, come under your authority. May Vedic hymns pour out of the hearts of the praisers. The hearts are under the control of Vaishwanara Agni, that one who is present in the cave of the heart along with the self. Last ruk in the sukta. Agnim Devaso Agriyam. Enlightened souls enkindle spiritual Agni, who is first and foremost, who is the destroyer of cloud of our ignorance. Through him, various kinds of wealth are acquired and all evils and defects are destroyed quickly. This concluding ruk may not need any elaboration. This marks the end of Suktas in praise of Agni from sage Bharadwaja. It is also end of chapter 5 of Ashtakam 4. We go to chapter 6 of Ashtakam 4. Suptam 17. Say, Rishi Bharadwaja Bharhaspatya Devada Indra Chandas Trushtup Dvipada Trushtup Piba Samamabhim Yamugra 17.1. O valorous Indra, being invoked by us, please drink this spiritual Soma essence and the great products of milk. Then please slay the person who is to be slain. O bold wielder of Vajra in your hands, Indra, with your might you smite down every hostile being, like the sun destroying the cloud. This first stroke of the Sukta dealing with Indra is self-explanatory. Indra could be Adhidevik or Adhyatmik. Sa impahi yarijishi. O Indra, who is straightforward and is of upright nature and who has risen above all miseries, protects this universe which he created. He is of beauteous jaws, is mighty among men, is wielder of thunderbolt, is piercer of host of wicked foes, and is seated among the spiritual race. That Indra smites down violent men, even if they are endowed with marvelous strength. Indra here stands for the universal manifested self. He is the creator of this material universe and is seated among the spiritual race, supplied by Atmiya Bhavamahana Soma. Rest of the Ruk needs no elaboration. 17.3. Eva Pahi Pratnatha Mandatu. O Indra, as in ancient times, you please protect the Vedas and hear the Vedas, which delight you. May you grow with these Vedic hymns. You please reveal the brilliant illuminator. Make our food overflow. Destroy our foes and acquire new lands for us. Brilliant illuminator in the physical sense is the sun and the self spiritually. Tetva Mada Brihadindra 17.4. O possessor of abundant food, Indra, may these gladdening drops of spiritual Soma essence greatly moisten you, who is full of splendor. These drops of essence may greatly delight you, who is great, is perfect, is strong, is powerful, and is all-conquering. All manifested material forms are being said to be for Indra's enjoyment. Soma essence may mean juice of Soma plant, this hymn, or flowing essence of Atma. 17.5. Yevi Suryamushasam Mandasano. O Indra, delighted by the manifested objects, you establish the sun and dawn in their places. You only smite the great mountain-like cloud which covers the steady rays of light in the sky, which are like herds of cattle. Though it means the cloud appears to be immovable from its place. Manifestation of sun and Usha dawn is being attributed to Indra here. Appearance of Usha is indicative of time for creation. He is said to be destroyer of cloud. which could be physical or ignorance. Here he means Indra. Tava kratva tava tad damsanavi. 17.6. O Indra, by your intelligence, your actions and your wisdom, we uphold mature knowledge among immature people. You open the door of the massive darkness of the cloud for the rays of the sun. Endowed with vitality, you save the lands from the violence of malevolent persons. Indra is the upholder of physical light and spiritual light or knowledge, as stated in this Ruk. The Ruk can be interpreted both in the physical sense or spiritually. 17.7. Papratha Kram Mahidamso. O Indra, with great effort, you fill the vast earth with diverse forms. You, being very great, keep the space in its place. You uphold the graves. You uphold the great space and earth, which are like sons of shining beings, and are like mothers for the diverse forms in the universe. Indra, the universal manifested self, causes the appearance of the five basic forms of matter, from space, subtlest, to earth, grossest, and objects made of these basic forms of matter. They are conceived of by enlightened sages. All objects in the universe are made out of these five basic forms and carried by the space and earth. Athatva Vishwe Pura 17.8. O Indra, all shining beings take shelter in you, keeping you in front because you uphold them. An ignorant man entering into a wrong argument with enlightened men also chooses or depend on Indra, because he, by his very nature, is the grantor of life to that man. The very idea of Indra as the universal manifested self is conceived of by enlightened souls. Thus Indra becomes the Jivatma, upholding the life in the bodies of each and every living organism. An ignorant man does not know of the Jivatma present in his own body, so he argues with enlightened men. 6.17.9. Adha Dyaushchitte Avasa No. O Indra, the space too bows down before you out of fear for two reasons. One from your thunderbolt and the other from your righteous anger. Indra, giver of life to all, smites down the wandering cloud or ignorance and makes it to sleep or ineffective. Idea expressed in this Ruk, though purely imaginary, is easily understandable. 17.10. Adha tvashta te maha ugra. O mighty hero, the created made for you Vajra, which is piercer of thousands of foes and supporter of hundreds of good persons. O upright Indra, with that you pierce the cloud which appears to be lustful and which bows before you, making noise out of fear for you. Indra is said to be piercing the water-bearing cloud with thunderbolt to bring rain, but rain is a simple physical phenomenon. Quite often, rain is accompanied by lightning and thunder. Vardhanyam Vishwe Maruta 17.11. O Indra, all Maruts, loving one another, strengthen you. Nourisher Vishnu, pervader of all, cooks 100 powerful things for you and fills up the three worlds with delightful Soma essence for you to kill the cloud when it is running. Here Vishnu may symbolize the self which fills up the three worlds, the space, atmosphere and earth, or Bhuvasva, with material objects which are living. Soma essence here means flowing essence of Atma. Maruts strengthen Jivatma, Indra. 17.12. Kshodo Mahivratam Nadinam. O Indra, you let flow the great powerful waters of the rivers or flowing streams that are obstructed by the cloud. You create water floods and paths for waters to flow downwards. You take these downward flowing waters to the ocean. Manifestation of water is being attributed to Indra in this book. Water is present in vapor form among the clouds. Condensation of water vapor brings rain. 17.13. Eva ta vishva chakrvamsam. O Indra, may this new Vedic Sukta cover you. Indra is the performer of all the aforesaid noble deeds. He is great and brave. He is never old. He is a giver of strength. He is surrounded by heroes. He is expert in wielding good weapons and is wielder of the good Vajra for our protection. This new sutta brings out the different qualities of Indra mentioned in the Rig. 6.17.4. 14. Sano Vajaya Sravasa Isheja. O Indra, endowed with light of knowledge, you please uphold us who are wise and highly learned, for knowledge, for fame, for food, and for good health. O Indra, may the upholder of knowledge be surrounded by admirable men who are highly learned. O Indra, please protect us in the decisive light of justice. May Indra support seer of the Sukta and his co-sacrificers physically, mentally and spiritually. May Indra help them to lead a truthful life. 6.17.15, the last track in this Sukta. Ayavajam Devahitam Sanema Madema Shatahima Suvira. By this sutta, we shall attain that knowledge which is beneficial to enlightened souls for shining beings. Enlightened souls or shining beings. May we enjoy 100 winters blessed with good heroes. What is beneficial to enlightened souls is indeed Atmajnana. With this, we conclude today's session. Viramastavat.